economy is facing severe threats and severe problems. Why? It is because they have lost manufacturing abilities. Manufacturing capabilities are shifted from US to countries like India, China and other low-cost countries. If that happens to us, we cannot stand even for a day. Therefore, we have to wake up. Which country has the highest foreign exchange reserve among all the countries in the world? It is not Japan, it is not Germany, it is China. How could they do it? Number one, hard work. They work very hard and there is no doubt about it. It's possible that they work 10 times harder and faster than us. China concentrates mostly on manufacturing high volume goods. Chinese companies don't touch small volume business. China manipulates its currency value against global currencies. China has pegged their currency with US dollar. Wherever the US dollar goes, the Chinese currency also will float. This has made this product their product very competitive. It is worked out that they have almost 40% price advantage over us. Therefore, whatever the economy measures we take, we will never be able to compete with them on price. The US is fighting tooth and nail to make Chinese to devalue their currency to the realistic level, and China simply refuses to buckle to the pressure. That, of course, is a different story. Today, the scenario we are facing in India is quite complex. Competition from multinational companies with their advanced products, competition from Chinese companies with lower cost offerings. The next most important factor that is becoming our biggest threat is our increasing employee cost. This is going to affect our export in a big way. Exporters have to face both kind of competition, that is from the advanced countries as well as from China on the price front. The severity is much higher due to duty parity in foreign countries. India is in the export business mostly because of our lower wages. This factor may not hold good for a long time. How are we going to tackle this problem? The only way out of this lies in the power of innovation. The innovation has to come through every stage of process. Innovation in product design, innovation in manufacturing process, innovation in management, innovation in marketing. Without this comprehensive approach, we cannot win this war. I call this a war because it is so serious. Realizing this is imperative. Unless we wake up with this fact, we are fast facing an exit from this race. Unless we wake up now, we might have to give up one day. It is appropriate that Gmcv has selected the subject of innovation for today's discussions and deliberations. Without innovation, we cannot stay in business in the competitive world. I would like to share with you some of the experiences in this direction which we have encountered, rather than stating what happens in the world. For example, iPhone, iPad, these are all examples of innovation. But I thought I would better share a little bit of our experience as an innovation, or how we have faced the competition and how I think it may be of use to the participants. When I started the company in 1970, my idea was to manufacture horns. So I made first air horns like any other company. I took it to the market and nobody wanted the product because it is like anybody else. Just 10% lower price doesn't make a difference. I tried my best. In spite of 6 months or 1 year of struggle, I couldn't sell even 10 horns. Then I thought, what is to be done? Then I thought of a completely different approach. Why customer is interested in should be interested in our product unless we offer something completely different, something better. So instead of operating the horn through electromechanical means, I thought of making it out of electrical, solenoid operated horn. Like air horn can be operated like electric horn. Those days the air horn can be operated through only a lever switch or a valve. It's complicated, it looks very ugly in the vehicle. So I made a solenoid valve. So by a light, just like electric operation, the air horn can be operated. So that is totally different. It was not heard here in India. And so I released the product. But here, that's an innovation in product. But the marketing innovation, see, if you market a product in a place where the competitor is very strong, it is very difficult to penetrate. So I had to go to a totally different place where the competitor is weak. We introduced that product there. Because of the innovation in the product and the market acceptability was also better, we started selling. And then the product, for the where the competitor was strong, we did not supply at all. But by means of the word of mouth, people came to know about the product and they started asking, and we did not supply the product here, wherever the competitor was strong, and we supplied only in other areas. The product has to move from that area to this area. So that created a pull in the market. And then, because after the customer bought, they bought the product because of its convenience in usage. But after using it, our product proved to be superior in durability, because only the first time the customer may be attracted by the design, but the quality is very important. So it proved. So within 3 years, we became the largest manufacturer of air horns in the country. Another small example, like electric horn. When we introduced the electric horn, this experience helped us to think of a different way. The electric horns available in India at those times, each horn weighed about 1 kilo or 1.5 kilo. So we produced a horn, designed a horn which weighed only 250 grams. And the current consumed was 18 to 20 amps, the horns available at that time. So the product what we developed consumed only 4 amps. But the same performance, same sound. So with that, we were able to get into the market. So when we introduced the product, our competitors were all from multinational companies from Germany, UK, Japan, plus Indian companies were dominating the market. So when we introduced this product, innovation pulled the product. And then again, within 3 years, 4 years, we became the largest electric horn manufacturer in the country. That is one part. Then in 1991, our Indian economy was thrown open to the global competition. So far, we were only exposed in the Indian market. So I thought if when the economy is open, multinational companies would come into India. So I wanted to try in the global market where we stand. So we exhibited our product in Auto Mechanica in 1992. And the product was very well appreciated for the performance and sound. But when it came to price, we were 15% expensive than our competitor. So we could not sell the product. So I came back and gave the target to the R&D that our price should be reduced by 25%. Then we worked out, and then we completed the product, and then again we exhibited in Frankfurt in the year 1994. After 2 years, it happens only alternate year, 94. And then I found that our product, by the time we exhibited the product, our price, I thought by offering 25% lower than what it was, we should be able to get a better order. But to our great astonishment, I found that their price has come down by 15%. And then still we were 5% costlier than the competition. So that's where the innovation comes. Unless we think innovatively, then of course we did that, and then now we are exporting all over the world. Our major markets are in US, Japan, Australia, Europe. So I can quote a lot of examples, but I think a lot of time, I don't want to waste time because you are going to deliberate more. I am only giving a hint how we can compete. It is not only product, it is process, it is in the manufacturing, a lot of technology we have to adopt so that we can reduce cost, we can increase productivity, because the labor costs are increasing constantly. Unless we innovate in that and bring down our production costs, we will not be able to compete, because the competition is getting stronger every day. So India, we have to wake up. We have to be very careful about the Chinese products, because they are able to offer at a cheaper price, but the quality is very poor. But in the years to come, they will really gain quality also. So it is imperative that we gear up, and then we should be able to face Chinese competition, not in India. Our target should be to compete globally with the Chinese. Unless we set such targets and work, we will not be able to win this war. In India, we can compete with Chinese because there is going to be import duty when they import. But in the abroad, there will be no duty or the same duty for our product as well as for theirs. So I would suggest that whoever is planning to do any product, you may be now focusing only on Indian market, but I would suggest that we should always focus, even though you may be very small, don't worry about it. We have to focus on going abroad, going global. That gives us good opportunity. For example, Coimbatore is known for electric motors. I was under the impression that Coimbatore only makes the largest number of motors, the biggest companies are here. Yesterday in the newspaper, I saw an advertisement from somewhere in North India, a company, they claim they are the largest manufacturers and exporters. So we have to be awake, see how we can do it. Not only cost, its quality and performance must be in our mind. So innovation is the only way to do that. And I really thank the organizers for inviting me to do this, and I have to appreciate this organizers for organizing this and selecting this team as an innovation for the future, fostering innovation for the development. In my opinion, that is the only way, and we should proceed further, and I am sure that panelists will have more deliberations and then come to a conclusion how it can be proceeded further. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, sir.
I now call upon Mr. Ganapati, Managing Director, Broadway Engineering, President Cointech, to give a memento to Mr. Ramasamy, Chairman, Roots Group of Industries.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I have been coming to Coimbatore quite a few times, and every time I come, I see that this city is really a happening city, I keep calling it, Somehow, I don't know, I used to be in Maharashtra about 20 years back, and Maharashtra used to be #1 state that time economically, and we used to call Pune as #1 city of the Maharashtra. I think sometimes I feel Coimbatore is assuming that now proportion. And the kind of activity which you are doing, and with the intensity which you are doing, I think that is very important, I think. In fact, last time when I came, I told our friend Rajagopal that Quality Council of India is now in the process of setting up 50 chapters in the country, and in the 12th five-year plan, the budget has already been allotted. And I told him that Coimbatore should be and rather we have decided that Coimbatore will be the one chapter of the Quality Council of India. So now, in fact, last week the Planning Commission meeting, budget has been allotted, and I think very soon I will be writing letter to association so that you please form the chapter. So all the activities of Quality Council of India, you conduct here, and we will provide you all the technical support, and wherever required, I don't think you need financial support, but wherever required, we will give that also. So that is one small, you are very rich people, rich association, of course, But now coming to this point, unfortunately today I have to be in the Bombay tomorrow, so I have not much time. But, few things I want to mention to you, that we have been participating in the meetings of the Planning Commission. And member Planning Commission, I think you know all about Mr. Arun Maira. I mean, he was the chairman of the Boston Consulting, now he is a member Planning Commission. So we have got a person, of his stature who is actually making the plans for the country. And in fact, first time he actually has drawn the attention on what he used the word depth in manufacturing technology. This word many times we don't use, depth in manufacturing technology. Basically, it actually amounts to the value addition. The successive study of past 10 years, in fact, if you go 15 years back, then, we used to have typical distribution in the GDP, 40% from manufacturing, 30% from services, and 30% from agriculture. That used to be the, distribution over the years, Today it is almost, 60%, more than 60, rather actually 66. Some people are saying it has become 66 from the services, and poor 16 to 17% from manufacturing and 22% from the agriculture. So this, of course, keeps changing slightly from year to year. But I must tell you that although we have gone to the easy option because of the IT, because of the health sector, because of the other soft side of the service sector, we are getting BPO, all those things. We are getting attracted towards service sector more and more. But, you must know any country, of our size, you will not be able to have sustainable growth if your manufacturing sector is weak. We had the capability, we have the capability. I think somewhere we missed the boat because we kept on looking at the production, and somewhere we lost the, target of productivity. Because 3 years when I was in the panel in the National Productivity Council, and, the question was posed to us that how come Chinese labor is being invited in the power sector in Gujarat, when we say that our labor is the cheapest. And then the person who had called the labor in the name of engineers, of course, that time, that was, of course, the terminology used, he calculated to us that 1.75 times I am giving more salary to Chinese labor, but their productivity is 2.5 times than the average Indian labor. Actually, that was really a shocking scenario which we never thought it is a fact. Then that point of time, if you see that the study which was presented to the Honorable Prime Minister, and he made the announcement 3 years back, that we now target 500 million, technician in the country. Certified, he used the word certified technicians. The fact is same, even 3 years back when he made the statement, he also said that the rural population, that time he had calculated 4% is a rural population, but the outcome on agriculture was 22% that time. So it was, very, unbalancing situation that 66% people are contributing to 22% growth. And of course now what is happening, these poor laborers from villages are now migrating to the towns, cities, and the challenge in front of us is that how do we train them on the skills required by the manufacturing industry. I think that time the NSDC came, National Skill Development Corporation, and now of course in past 2 years we have been able to constitute the sector-specific skill, councils. Because unless we have got textile, automobile, leather, all these have to bring out certain new benchmarks. Because one of the problems I want to tell you from the Quality Council of India point of view is that country like we have made in-depth study of Germany, England, and America. All these standards in these countries are made by the industry. India, every time you all look towards whom? Bureau of Indian Standard or some 3-4 other governmental organizations that they will make standards for you. No, it will never. It is not a good practice. You have to set the standards. Every time you keep following what others set the standard for you. Other countries set the standards for you and you keep on following every time. I'm leading the team. This shift is going to come from this point of time. One more point I'll tell you. We made a presentation only 3 days back in the FICCI. We calculated the quality index. This quality index includes productivity. Large scale, 0.85. Medium scale, 0.77. And small scale, 0.66. Now this is again a very worrying point because 40% outcome from manufacturing from the small scale, and their quality index is 0.66 as compared to 0.85 from the large scale. That means large scale industry is reasonably doing well in terms of productivity and quality, but this sector, and particularly let us say leather, 90% output from a small scale, gems and jewelries, 89% from small scale. So there are certain sectors which are only coming from the small scale. And if their index is only 0.66, that means the country is heavily losing on that. So the point is not difficult, let me tell you. Wherever large-scale industries are having the clients, or let us say the suppliers are from the small scale, I think they are helping them. But those industries which are loosely operating in the country, that means they are supplying to many industry, and nobody is actually their guardian, they are the poorer sufferer. So we have identified the problems already, that firstly the HR policy they lack, they don't understand. They hire the labor from here and there because it's cheap labor. They don't realize that if we hire a skilled labor, pay them 1.5 times, but this outcome could be 3 times. I think that realization now we are trying to make. Secondly, quality tools, that is where ISI has to play the role. We keep talking of lean, we keep talking of 5S, we keep talking of TPM, we keep talking of the daily works management. These are the simple things. Because they are simple things, we are not taking note of it. Wherever we have done it now, we have done it at 117 places already, and these clusters are showing phenomenal, increase in the productivity. So again, in this 5-year plan, we will be making this thrust on telling the small-scale industry by practicing these quality tools, not quality management, quality tools, that their productivity can go up. And that actually, particularly Coimbatore, I am saying, can beautifully be done by the chapter which is going to come hopefully next month in the Coimbatore. And this industry, of course, some of you are big industry here. I think you have to take the role of being guardian to the small-scale industry. So we can really go back to the manufacturing again the same scale, where we are now targeting, government is targeting that 30% GDP growth should be by the manufacturing, which is 16 today. I mean, big gap. I don't know whether in 3 years the targeted period can we do it or not. But let us make effort on that. We have the capability, we have the technology, with little effort on emphasizing that quality tools have to be put in. Invention, of course,